Hey, Jan, welcome back. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great, my friend. Hey, just so I make sure, can I share my screen
You
after?
can. Yeah, you can actually during your presentation, if you have something you want to share. So the way it works in StreamYard is you share it, and then I, as the host, have to approve it. And then
Awesome.
you'll have screen share privileges and you can navigate or do whatever you'd like in there.
All right, then I'll just wait for a little bit.
All right, cool. So a little bit of background here, guys. Jan Barlow and I have not met in person, but her name came up from, now remind me who it was, Jan, the first time I
Amy,
heard it.
Amy Pearman.
Amy Pearman. She reached out and she said, you got to connect with Jan. She's absolutely amazing. And then I was meeting my friend, Tina Marie Woolfield. I think we talked. And then like the next day I met my friend Tina Marie Woolfield for coffee, and she was going on and on about this wonderful woman and all these work that she's doing with these events and speakers and whatnot, and in working with the HR community. And I said, is her name Jan Barlow? And the way she was describing you, I'm like, within a period of just a few days, two separate people had suggested that we connect. So Jan, tell us a little bit about yourself, if we could, and then we're going to get into a discussion here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I live my life through synchronicity. So, I don't try to make it difficult. And exactly like you just experienced, that's how this flow that I'm going to talk about a little bit today happens, right? But we get too caught up in the 3D world and the left brain. So thank you for sharing that story. I appreciate you. So really my story is I used to work for a global pharmaceutical company. I was fortunate to create my own job there not by accident, but it was one of those things that I was in business development and in laser vision correction. So I would go out and help the docs make money at integrating their LASIK practice, right, into their pathology practice. So predominantly I would go to trade shows, talk to doctors, and the clinical side of the group, because they would demo the laser and the medical equipment. Well, we were always short-handed with the clinical group that they sent. So I just kind of learned how to do that. I was already mechanically inclined. I was interested in it. I would talk to the R&D people and the clinical people. So I became part of their group as well. So literally, they said, Jan, how would you like to do both? So I became pretty much the department's secret weapon. So I could go in and train the doctors on how to operate the laser, and then go tell them or teach them how to make money at it. So then as time went on, I was also helping them find and identify the right person or people to be part of that LASIK team. So what's interesting and very unique is that in the medical practice, they think a patient counselor that counsels cataract patients was the same as, because the duties of the job were the same, right? Counseling LASIK patients. But what was different is it's not the same patient profile. So you have one patient that is sick and they're, they have insurance and they might have a small copay, but they're not really picking up the brunt of the procedure. And then you have the LASIK patient who's not sick. They don't need surgery. They just want to get rid of their glasses, and they're paying $4,000 to $5,000 out of pocket. So really, I created my position there to educate people on really finding the right person for the job. So going through that, I was hired by our competition, and bad managerial fit after 2 months. And really, I tried to fit a square peg in a round hole and change myself. And unfortunately, that didn't work out and manifested in physical form. My palms started to peel. My hair was falling out. I was sleeping for 12 hours. I mean, it was a total crash and burn. So when I left there, it really was my mission. I wanted to make sure that I wanted to help people, keep people out of harm's way. And that's when I started Better Job Fit. So that was back in 2009, 2010. And here we are. We just really moving and grooving and growing. I love it.
That's awesome. So let's get right into this conversation right now here, Jan. And the topic you're going to be talking to us about today is the secret shift from finding a job to creating your dream position. Is that right? You're looking at the screen quizzingly.
Yeah, no, just want to make
did she
sure.
change it or?
No, girl, I'm just trying to, when you talked about the technical difficulties or whatever, I'm like going, okay, wait a minute now. I'm just trying to navigate this to see it come up on the screen. I pulled it up.
Okay, so in the bottom, click on share in StreamYard.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Okay, and while you're doing that, I want to just explain to folks. So this morning, if you're joining me, you see my live streams regularly, you're like, why does the background look different? Well, we lost Wi-Fi at my house this morning, Jan. At about 8 o'clock, when I was getting things set up, I didn't panic at all. I'm like, we'll make this work. And we've got some power outages that are happening. They're doing repairs right now and whatnot. And I'm like, well, I was at Starbucks yesterday. I saw there's some tables open. I could go there. Or my mother-in-law lives a couple miles away, and her internet was still up. So here I am in her room. All right, I think I've got the screen. So if you could click on, if I click on add to stream, it's actually going to do like a mirror effect. So navigate to the page that you want to show. So you're not going to be able to see yourself on the screen, but navigate to the panel where you want to show. So right now,
okay.
Oh, here we go. Perfect. And then if you want, you can pull it up into full screen mode. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
Okay. You might not be able to see yourself, but we can see it up on screen, Jan.
Okay, cool. Cool. Thanks for confirming. I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, oh, Lord, is this working?
You're all set. So I'll let you take the floor from here, Jan. I'm going to pull myself off of video, and I'll come back on as we near the end of your time.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you. So again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. I really want to share the secret shift from finding a job to creating your own dream position, because really it's a slight shift, but gosh, it will create a big difference when it comes to your transition. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me on LinkedIn, Jan Barlow, or jbarlow@betterjobfit.org. My intention today is to really help you think differently about yourself and your opportunities, because a lot of times we get caught up in this paradigm or this pre-programming mental, attitude toward career transition or transition of anything, and we get stuck in the left part of our brain. So today, my intention is that, please, I hope that something today that I provide to you, some pearls or whatever, will help you experience a shift in thinking differently. So after my transition, I noticed that the job search and hiring process was broken. When I was working with doctors and finding the right job fit, or the person for the right person for the job, I just looked within their own practice. So I didn't have to, or literally the local Starbucks. Literally, I'd go in the night before, I would go into a Starbucks and pass out my cards. I would talk to some of the people that work there and said, hey, if you're ever interested in changing jobs, give me a call. Because what was really proof was Starbucks was training people in customer service, and that's truly what you need for that position in patient counseling. So I didn't really have to go out and do the job postings for the doctors or whatever. So when I was going to do it for myself, I said, this is flipping broken, like how archaic, right? So that's really coupled with my passion to help people, help keep people out of harm's way in their career transition. That's really what my bouncing off point. So a question real quick. So, and please, Brenda, if you could share some answers with me, I'd appreciate it. Who has jumped into updating your resume and your LinkedIn profile, but you don't really feel like you're connecting with the words or the job descriptions or your 30-second elevator pitch? Anybody? Anybody experience that?
Can I see this?
And Jan, just so you know, it takes about 30 seconds. We've got a delay from the time you ask the question until they hear it.
Oh, cool. Thank you for reminding me.
And then it does take them a couple seconds to type in the comment, click on submit. So it's
cool.
About a 1 minute delay-ish, depending on typing. But while we're doing that, I want to just remind folks, drop your introduction into the chat as you're watching the live stream today. There are many employers that are going to be watching this today, and maybe the playback later. You never know when you're going to bump into somebody who might be have a perfect fit for what you're looking for. So we have had a couple people saying yes. Kim Johnson, Clarissa, looks like the comments are popping up now.
I
Greg
love it.
Stevens.
I
There
love
you
it.
go.
I just know when I was doing it myself, I'm like, God, I just feel like there's somebody else writing this, like I'm observing. And it felt fake. I'm like, oh, and it felt so, I don't know, just really, I didn't connect. I was writing what my job duties were. I was writing my experience. I'm like, it's like I was writing it for somebody else, but I didn't connect with it. Right. And I said, oh, whatever, that's just probably normal. Right. Well, and also, who has noticed when you're conducting your online search, you don't feel like you're getting good results or seeing enough options or opportunities? So you're going and taking time to type in your search and you press enter and just nothing's coming up. You're like, really? This is it? Like, I'm experience rich. It's not really resonating with me. Anybody experience that?
And we're going to wait for some audience participation here again.
Absolutely.
Now that you know about the delay, it's not awkward. Now that you know, it
feels nice. It's good. It's a nice and easy
flow. Hi, right?
Yeah, nice and easy flow. I like that.
Yeah. So here we go. From Dawn, still trying to find the right words to say, and Clarissa commenting, yes, we write it for what we think others want to hear.
Yes. Right, so true. What we think somebody else wants to read. See that disconnect? It's a big aha moment when you notice, I'm writing it for somebody else, right? So another situation, who wants to explore other job options or opportunities in other positions or industries, but you don't know how to go about translating your work experience? You're thinking, I'm sure that there's a position like mine in another industry, and I'd like to explore that. Or I have a lot of experience in this one position, but what else is out there? How can I do a lateral move, or what's the next step up? Because back in the day, if you worked for a company, a good company, they should have been saying, hey, with your level of experience, here's your next step up. Companies don't do that anymore, and it's left up to you. Most people are like, okay, how do I navigate that? Where do I go from here, right? So also another question, when you're reading a job description, have you noticed yourself reading it like a checklist? I can do this, I can do that. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I've done this for 10 years, right? How many people get into that habit when you're reading that job description? You're just going off and checking off boxes, and then you apply. Anybody experience that? I know I did when I was catching myself doing that, not only when I was trying to write my resume and not connecting to the words. I'm entering in job descriptions and titles, and that wasn't really giving me a lot of fruit, good positions. And then when I did find positions, I catch myself reading the position and the duties and just going check, 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 check. Yep, I'll apply for that one, right? You're again using the left part of your brain. So what's the secret? Well, the big secret, before we get to that, the first is this question. What's the definition of the word find? Anybody? Just type it in. What do you think the definition of the word find is? How I came up with this back in 2018, I came out of dead sleep and I was called to look up the definition of the word find and the definition of the word create, like out of a dead sleep. So I had been thinking, I said, okay, I was doing these workshops for the career networking group. And I said, I need a name for them. I need to brand these workshops. So again, within a couple of days, that synchronicity that kicks in, I wake up out of dead sleep, says, look up definition of find and create. Well, the definition of the word find, hold on to your hats, is one of the first definitions that popped up is the definition of find, to happen upon by chance. So, you know, when we go around saying, I'm trying to find a job, and you feel your shoulders roll forward and you feel a little heaviness. Well, words have a vibration, right? And they affect us. Our body's 65% water, right? So you're walking around saying, I'm trying to find a job, and it just feels like maybe, maybe not. Well, that's why, because the definition of the word find is to happen upon by chance. Now, create, on the other hand, now that's a powerful word. Create means to bring something about in existence. Well, that's empowering. I mean, when you say you create something, that you got some ownership there, right? You got some empowerment. So literally, that was my aha moment with that synchronicity. I said, great, I'm going to name my courses and this whole segment of our workshops, Creating Your Next. Because my famous saying is next, like next, move on. You know, if you're hit a stumbling block or mental, you know, just feeling down, next, just press that button, next. Well, the acronym is New, Exciting, Extraordinary Transition. So creating your next. So again, it's not about finding a job, my friends. It's about creating your next. It just feels better when somebody asks you, hey, you find a job yet? Hey, I'm not trying to find a job. I'm creating my next. There's more conscious effort into that, right? More conscious action is involved in that. And again, what's the secret shift? It's from the left brain to the right brain, going from checking off the box of I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, or I got to do my LinkedIn, I got to complete my resume, and totally shift that paradigm of thinking, and from the left brain to the right, from the analytical free side of the brain to the free thinking side, and tap into the realm of next steps, or that flow and inspired action. You ever notice that when you're driving, you know, you've had something on your mind, you get in the car and you're driving, and all of a sudden you get a download, meaning a thought that comes into your head and says, hey, why don't you try such and such? And it connects to what you've been thinking about your problem, or, you know, to find a solution. When we get out of our left side of our brain and we get into that relaxed state or semi-conscious state, especially like driving or vacuuming or doing dishes, going out for a walk, we start to get downloads of information from our own brain. Our brain has the answers. Okay, there's always a solution. You just have to relax to receive that guidance, right? To that inspired action or next steps. So again, the secret, the current process that people are doing, again, you know, check off the box to do the resume, you know, update your LinkedIn profile, start entering in information into the computer for your Boolean search. Well, that's really a push action type of process. You're pushing information into the computer, right? But you're not allowing or in that state of mind that allows the information to come to you. You're just focused on, I'm trying to find a job. Well, you're literally with that mindset, you got blinders on. By saying, I'm just trying to find a job, you literally have cut off your peripheral vision. I mean, physically. When you have that mindset, you have blinders on and you are not open to receive guidance or opportunity. You can't see other opportunities because you're just so focused on, I got to do this one thing. I got to update my resume, LinkedIn profile. I got to just find a job, get on the computer. So that whole action is about pushing information. And that's forcing. What you want to do is be able to enter into the computer information and get a lot of results. When you push or force, You're entering in information, you're getting very little back that's relevant. And when you apply to jobs, you wait and wait. It creates that psychological frustration. It starts to build up. Now, after 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, now you're feeling depressed. Okay. Your vibration is so low, it's kind of hard to bring you back up. Okay. It just starts the cycle. Our brain is programmed for closure. So literally, that's why when we enter in information and we apply to all these jobs and we don't get anything back, we feel frustrated. It's because our brain is programmed for closure, right? Think of Sheldon Cooper and the Amy, right? Or Penny, right? The 3 times, because his brain has to have closure. So the secret is this: you got to have a different mindset and a different discovery versus search techniques. It's not about the search. You need to be in a discovery mindset. What does discovery mindset mean? How does it feel? That's what you need to ask yourself. When you're in discovery, how does it feel versus a search? Discovery is curious, right? Discovery is open. It's not pressured, right? Think of the process of discovery as putting quarters in a slot machine, hitting that enter key and seeing what pops up, right? That excitement of, let me put in these words, cool words that are unrelated, that connect to me, and let's see what happens, right? And get excited. And again, read your resume, highlight those words that really resonate with you, that when you read them, you say, gosh, I remember doing the job and that was so much fun. And, you got to emotionally connect to those words. And then the third is become a cooperative component of the process. Instead of just forcing the information in the computer and waiting to see what happens, start looking at those synchronistic events, just like what Brenda and I were talking about, how we got connected, right? It all starts with those breadcrumbs. We get frustrated because we're like, okay, we're going to follow this breadcrumb and we want the end result. We want a job. You got to get out of that mode of expectation and allow for that fruit to really show you what you're supposed to learn from it. Or, the earlier presenter, Kathy, as far as saying, should this be a giving and receiving? Yes, it's something that really, it's a shared moment. It's focus on what's coming up for you now and what's the path of least resistance, right? The path of least resistance isn't negative. It's just what you're able to receive now. What's easy for you now? And people say, oh, this is not supposed to be easy. It's hard. That's your perception. You choose that perception. How about saying it's not an overnight process, so why not enjoy it? Why not really enjoy the people I'm going to meet and connect with, and what are the lessons learned, and what are the things that are bringing richness to my life? Again, inspired action. When you're driving, you get those inspired actions or thoughts. Those are the breadcrumbs, my friend, that you need to follow. So let's open up for Q&A, or back to you, Brenda.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jan. As we're nearing the end of the time, can you hear me okay, first of all? Because I took myself off and I want to make sure
I can.
Okay. I've had that happen, and then people are like, we can't hear you. So I want to just thank you, first of all. This was a great discussion today. A lot of comments popping up in chat. Some of those you saw on screen here, Jan. There's a bunch on LinkedIn as well. Didn't get to everything. I want to just point out, I know you've got an event coming up, and you've got a discount code. I'm going to pop that into the screen as well, and I'll drop that into, actually, let me grab this, and I'm going to put this up on LinkedIn for folks as well. Tell us a little bit about what that workshop's all about. And
so thank you, Brenda. This workshop is translating your existing experience, right? Experience rich, to other positions and industries. But this workshop is going to help you do, not only transition to other positions and industries, it could be in the same industry, but we're going to go over really some key pearls how can you get different results in your search, right? How can you up your human game and really connect to your resume and really start emotionally connecting? That's going to start producing that fruit and those results for you. It's a 90-minute workshop, and it's next Tuesday.
Okay, great. And I'm going to pull up your LinkedIn profile up on screen. Jan, are you open to accepting invitations from folks that are watching today's event? Or what's your
Absolutely,
process there?
please. I welcome that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to pull your profile up. While I'm doing this, I noticed, Jan, that your LinkedIn URL has some numbers at the back end of it. Would you be open to me telling you how to change it for the benefit of those people on screen as
Please.
well?
Woo! Girl,
So
I'm already going to be, I wanted to, it's so funny you say that. Again, synchronicity. Can we please have a call so we can book some time together?
Here you go. So guys, I want to show you this. So if you see Jan's LinkedIn URL, it's Jan-Barlow-197914. I mean, Jan didn't pick that URL, and there is a way that you can change it. And the way that you would do so, I'm going to kind of show you these steps right now.
Yep.
I'm going to go to my LinkedIn profile to show you because I can't do it from Jan's. So when you go to your profile, you're going to go in the upper right-hand corner where it says edit public profile in URL. You see this link over here to the side?
Yep.
So you're going to click on that. And then when you go inside here, it's going to say edit your custom URL. Now there's a little pencil icon next to it. When you click on that, the only thing you can change is past the last slash mark. If I were you, I would just do Jan Barlow, take out the dashes. It doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase because LinkedIn's going to make it lowercase. And then once you have done that, just click on save. And voila, it's automatically updated. You've got a simplified URL. I hope you don't mind me walking you through that.
No, because I got to tell you, seriously, this morning I was like, "Oh, girl, I gotta call Brenda, and we got to set up some time because I need some help." So thank you so much. I always want to know why. What is that? Why does LinkedIn give you that number at the end? What good does it do for them?
My understanding is it's a member number that they assigned to people when they first create their profile. And it really doesn't serve us any value, but I mean, why don't they just do first name, last name? I don't know, because there's a lot of John Smiths in the world and they don't want to have John Smith 1, John Smith 2. I'm not really sure, but at any rate, when you guys connect with Jan, please mention that you saw her on the LinkedIn Live-a-thon event today. If there's something helpful that she shared with you, mention that in your invite as well. Thank you so much, Jan. This was a delight. I really appreciate you joining us here today.
Thank you, Brenda. Take care.
All right, guys. Thank you, Jan. And I'm going to move Jan off of the screen here.